Okay, let's talk about something that gets in the way of pretty much anyone who's ever tried to do anything ambitious. Whether you're building a company, creating art, or just trying to get better at your job, there's this internal battle that's often way harder than any fight you'll face out in the world. And that's the battle against your own ego.
So this explainer, it's built on the incredible ideas in Ryan Holiday's book, Ego is the Enemy. We're going to really zero in on that first stage of any big journey, what Holiday calls the aspiration phase. You know, that moment you're just starting out and how your ego can trip you up before you even get going.
And this is the line from the book that just hits you, right? The idea that it's not our competitors, it's not the economy, it's not bad luck that's our biggest problem. No, it's something we carry around with us every single day.
Now let's be super clear. When we say ego here, we're not talking about some dry psychological term. We're talking about this right here, that unhealthy belief in how important we are. It's that part of you that needs to be seen as more than or better than. It's the enemy of actually mastering a craft because it hates to look stupid. It's the enemy of teamwork, and honestly, it's the enemy of seeing the world as it actually is.
This brings us to a really powerful idea. And it's a choice you have to make right at the beginning that will literally set the course for everything that follows.
To really get this, we have to talk about this legendary military strategist named John Boyd. Most people have never heard of him, but he was a genius. They called him 42nd Boyd because he was a fighter pilot who could beat any opponent in under 40 seconds. But his real talent was understanding systems and people.
So Boyd, he would sit down with his most promising young pilots, the ones he knew could be great, and he'd lay out this choice, this fork in the road that he knew they were all going to face sooner or later.
He'd put it to them just like this. He said, look, you can go one way and be somebody. You'll get the promotions, the corner office, you'll be a member of the club, but you're gonna have to make compromises. Or he'd say, you can go the other way and you can do something. You might get passed over for promotions, you won't be popular, but you won't have to compromise. And your work might actually change the world.
So, that's the question for you, isn't it? Are you chasing the title, the appearance of success, or are you chasing the actual accomplishment? It's a choice that life is going to put in front of you over and over again.
All right, so let's say you've made your choice. You're on the path of doing something. Well, now the ego lays another trap for you. It's the trap of thinking you know it all. And the only way out is to always, always stay a student.
I love this story about Kirk Hammett. So he lands his dream job, he's the new guitarist from Metallica, one of the biggest bands on the planet. This is the exact moment when most people's egos would just explode, right? But what does Kirk do? He immediately goes out and finds a guitar teacher. And he didn't just find any teacher. He went to Joe Satriani, who was a legend and famously demanding. Satriani later said that what made Hammett different was that he could take the harsh feedback. He could sit there and be told he was wrong. His ego didn't get in the way of him getting better. He wanted to learn, not just be told how great he already was.
The MMA pioneer Frank Shamrock had this brilliant little formula for it. He called it plus, minus, equal. To keep learning and keep your ego from taking over, you always need 3 people in your life. Someone better than you that you can learn from, your plus, someone not as good as you that you can teach, your minus, and someone who's your equal, who can challenge and compete with you. That setup gives you this constant feedback loop. It's almost impossible for your ego to get overinflated.
Okay, so you're focused on doing and you're committed to being a student. So how do you actually get ahead? Well, ego tells you to shout about how great you are, but there's a much more effective way, and Holiday calls it the canvas strategy.
The idea comes from ancient Rome. They had this role called the anteambolo. It literally means one who clears the path. This person's job was to walk ahead of someone important, a senator, a general, and make their life easier. They'd clear the way, pass on messages, handle the small stuff. That's the mindset. So the strategy is pretty simple, but it is so hard for our ego to accept. Step 1, find people who are doing cool things, people who are more successful than you. Step 2, make it your job to clear the path for them, make them look good. And here's the hardest part, step 3, let them take the credit. Because when you make other people successful, you learn a ton, you build this network of people who owe you, and you end up creating a path for yourself.
Oh, Benjamin Franklin was an absolute master of this. When he was just a teenager working in his brother's print shop, he wrote these amazing articles, but he knew his brother would never publish them. So he'd sign them with a fake name and slide them under the door at night. His brother published them, they became super popular, and he got all the credit. But Ben Franklin, he was secretly learning how to write, how to persuade, and how to influence people. He was playing the long game.
All right, our final lesson for this aspiration phase is maybe the most difficult one of all.
Because on your journey, people are going to disrespect you. They're going to be unfair. And your ego is going to scream at you, fight back, put them in their place. But true power, real strength, often comes from restraint.
When Branch Rickey was getting ready to break the color barrier in baseball, he knew he couldn't just pick the most talented player. He needed someone with a specific kind of character. So he sits down with Jackie Robinson, this incredibly proud and fiery competitor, and he has one single, crucial question for him.
He looked him in the eye and asked him, "Do you have the guts?" But it's not the kind of guts you think.
Rickey needed to know if Jackie Robinson had the guts not to fight back. He knew Robinson was about to walk into a storm of abuse, spikes up slides, pitches at his head, racial slurs, and any reaction, any fight, would be used as proof that this whole experiment was a failure. The mission was bigger than Jackie's pride.
I want you to just think about this number for a second. 72. In his career, Jackie Robinson was hit by a pitch 72 times. And that doesn't even count the death threats, the spit, the endless verbal abuse. And through it all, for the sake of a much larger goal, he swallowed his pride and kept his ego in a box. That right there, that is real strength.
So, what does all this mean for us as we're starting our own journeys? It means that the very first victory you have to win, the most important one, is the victory over your own ego.
It all comes down to this. Choose purpose over just passion. Choose humility over pride. Choose to serve others instead of just yourself. And choose restraint over a knee-jerk reaction. If you can build your ambition on that foundation instead of on ego, you're clearing the way for success that actually lasts.
You know, there's this ancient saying that pride is the first thing the gods give someone they want to destroy. It makes us blind, it makes us foolish. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What is your pride preventing you from seeing right now?